Hey folks! Yes, I survived a Hurricane Ian here. It was not a big deal for us. I'm very blessed. I woke up every 2 hours to make sure, and the hurricane took a turn just before our town, and just the edges of it were on the radar on my house. So very thankful. I hope my buddy Jose is okay down in Puerto Rico too. One of our students here at the members at the Fiddle Jam Institute, and also my patent attorney. So, buddy, I hope you're okay down there. Hope you were. I think you were, because you reached out to me last week. But blessings to everybody. Boy, down in Fort Myers, Florida, it's flattened down there. A lot of spots. Really big wind. So I'm very lucky here. Just a little bit of cleanup in the trees and branches and leaves and stuff to do. So I'm a little bit unprepared today. I don't know what I want to talk about or what I want to do really. Usually I have a plan and a key to work on. Let's see what comes up here. I don't have a ton of time. I have a student coming shortly, and I try and schedule this similar time every week. And flow has been coming up, though, the subject of flow. And it comes up in multiple disciplines, not just music. But I know music is my thing, so, and every time I learn a big lesson in life, I usually slap my forehead and go, oh, I should have known that. I'm a musician. It's just like music. So, music is a great teacher, and music is a great leader for us, the spirit of music. So what is this flow business about? Well, and people say, oh, it's only an advanced concept, but you can really start developing flow right from the beginning. It's the idea that overthinking is the enemy of flow. I've heard many musicians say this, many artists say this, many sports people say this. Wherever that flow is, whatever it is to you, wherever it comes from, whether it comes from the universe, whether it comes from God or some angel or whatever, the divine muses, whatever it is to you, it's some kind of flow that comes to us, through us. And when we're in flow with it, like we're hopping a river and just go downstream, it always is way easier, way more adventuresome, and way more pleasurable for us and the people who hear us, I notice. So how to get in that flow, or how to stay in the flow, is an art form in itself. Usually it just revolves, just freaking relax, right? I was just on Zoom before I did this with a private student, a young girl. She's, I think, just turned 16. She's been taking lessons from me about 10 years now. And she was trying hard. She's a very studious young girl and young lady. And she was trying hard to learn a new fiddle tune. Matter of fact, I have it right here in the Fiddler's Fake Book. It is Baker's Breakdown. And if you don't know what the Fiddler's Fake Book is, it's a little aside, but you definitely should get it. Fiddler's Fake Book. It's the Bible for fiddle tunes. It's the best I've seen out there. I like the guy that wrote it, compiled it, David Brody, is kind of looks, it seems to me, to be a fiddling scholar. He puts at the beginning, you know, this discography of who's recorded this tune, besides who wrote it, what style it is, whether it's a different tuning or not. It's a very good book. If you don't have that book, go ahead and get it. You get it on Amazon, I'm sure. It's about $30, I think, or maybe less. And it's the Bible if you want to learn. But anyways, the student was trying to learn the song, and she was struggling a little bit. And she's like I said, a very good student. She's very good in her school grades. She tries really hard to do good and be a good girl. I know I was a good boy when I was young and tried hard too. And her parents are both school teachers, so being, you know, studious is very important to her. But I saw her as she was practicing and trying to read. I saw her body language. She was playing. Let's see, it was the other way. And she was playing, and she was bending down, and she was actually off the camera at one point. She was bearing down, trying to learn this song and play the one spot, and having trouble with the bowing. And I said, stop, you know, straighten up, relax, get back in your chair a little bit. I know it's contrary to sit up straight and pay attention, and you know. But sometimes people like myself and her a little bit, people who are more studious and more thinking oriented to begin with, for whatever phobias we might have about failing or something, whatever the deep psychology is behind it, need to just chill out. Just sit back, relax, and it probably will go better. Breathe deep. You know, I told her to try this kind of metaphysical concept. Instead of putting her thinking out here on the page, I said, try to imagine yourself playing it as if your thinking was up here in front of your forehead. This spatial awareness thing, if your spatial awareness is down here at some little pinpoint, you're not going to be thinking of the whole. You're not going to be trying to hear the tune and playing what you're hearing, like when we jam or when we do call and answers. It's going to be too focused out here in this one little dot, and you're going to lose the sense of the whole. And you're not going to be a good listener. You're not even listening to yourself, probably. So for her, therapy was sit back, relax. And she tended to also do this. She tended to go up in the lower half and nervous. I said, shows. We always draw our arms in when we're afraid. Oh my God, you know. And fear, even when you're playing an instrument, fear will show, and people tend to draw into the frog a little more. It's the scratchiest place to play. It's the hardest place to play smooth. So I actually had her put a clothespin on her bow to make herself, you know, bow only in the upper half. And it's clunk, clunk, she kept pulling up. You know, it's a hard habit for her to break. But these kind of things, maybe it'll help you. Maybe me just saying that. It's like, just chill out. I adored my main teacher, who I've spoken about many times, Dennis Piwarski. When I was her age, he was in the Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra. He was a player's player. Even the other players in the orchestra kind of bowed to him. And he had seemingly a terrible... Everybody else sat on the edge of their chairs and did the thing. He was like leaning back with his legs hanging out in front of him, you know. And playing just as better than everybody. He was like, he had a bad attitude, a lot of people thought. But he played freaking great. Maybe he needed that. Maybe he needed that to be in the flow of the music, in the flow. So the music comes to us. The Greeks had a saying, the thought occurred. Not I thought of this, not like you were, but the thought occurred. The thought came to me. So in other words, the thinking, the thought, actually the good thought actually came from somewhere else to you. And that's, when you even just say that, it has a little more of a relaxed concept, doesn't it? The thought occurred. Well, the music occurred. The phrasing occurred. It occurred to me to play it this way. It occurred to me to play this riff right, not now, but right now. So you're choosing, you're in command, but you are also being obedient to that flow. And that's, when you plant that seed, and that's the real deal, man, it gets so much more fun for you. It gets so much more fulfilling for you, and much more fun and fulfilling for the people who listen to you and play with you. So that's where the real deal is, and that's where I think greatness comes from. Greatness has nothing to do with technique. It has everything to do with how consistently can you be in the flow and not be distracted by, oh my God, my Uncle Louis is here and he hasn't heard me in 3 years. I better be good now. It's all over, because you want it, you're focusing on Uncle Louis rather than just being in the flow, right? Or, oh, I really want to practice this song. I really want to do good on it now. And it's like, of course it's never going to be as good. You just chill out. It's already, if you practice it, it's already in there. Just play it. Hear it in your head. Practice following what you're hearing in your head. Practice following what you're hearing in your head. I said it twice. It's that important. And if you're there for a high percentage value of time as you play, that's greatness. Greatness is just taking dictation, really, I think. Even the greatest sports people will say similar things. You know, I don't know, you know, the hockey player, just, I can vision where it's coming from and where it's going to. He focuses not on his stick and his puck and his skates, you know. He'd fall flat on his nose if he did that. The greatest ones, like Wayne Gretzky, will be aware of the whole ice rink and where everybody is and where he's in comparison and where it could possibly go, and try and be in the flow of that. That's greatness. So, does it take practice to be in that flow state? Absolutely. Most of us think too much, tend to think too much, whether it's in relationships, it's in violin playing, or whether it's driving down the street, or opening a door, or taking a dump, whatever. You're, you know, just relax. It'll probably happen much better. Your digestion will be better, everything, if you just chill out, all right? I'm not saying there isn't times to focus hard and do well, but usually that doing well is... you know, not the thing that's running things. It's a wish, and that's not presence. It's not flowing always. Be prepared, yes. That's when to focus, being prepared. But also prepare for flow. Prepare to be in the flow, be in the mood, and that for musicians comes from listening within and playing that. That's why I'm such a big proponent. I suggest this call and answer corny stuff, playing these corny licks. I say it over and over. If you've watched these, you hear me say it. Yes, when I play a riff, you hear me in playing that riff, and then you have a chance to play it back. It's still bouncing around your head, so you're kind of taking the flow that I dictated to you, maybe. So I'm helping you out since you might not have a big vocabulary to draw upon yet. And you're playing while you're listening to yourself play it, and also to me, it's still bouncing around in there. So you're practicing that listening to and playing and being and following what you're hearing in your head. It's kind of metaphysical, kind of psychological, but that's where the greatness comes in your playing. And it doesn't mean that you can blow scales around, a jazz bebop player or something. It doesn't mean you have to be able to do that or play virtuosic stuff. That's nice if you can, but it's not in the service of flow. Flow can be just playing one note at the right time with the right tone. So just play it like you hear it, like you hear it. Not me hear it, like you hear it. All right? All right, that's my speech for today. So let's do a call and answer. I'm trying to think of a key I haven't done. We did C, I know. We did D, we did G, G minor. We did A minor, I think, in 1 week. And I've left all these up for now on the channel if you want to check them out. Let me pick a key. I think I did B 1 week. I think I did B flat 1 week too. How about E major? I don't think I've done that yet. So E majors. It's not always the greatest, funnest key for us violinists, but it definitely is for guitarists because their bottom string is at E, right? So E major is a very common key for if you're playing with guitarists. So it has a G sharp in it. F sharp, G sharp, high 3. A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and open E or fourth finger. And you can do fourth finger A. So that opens up one thing. If you're fairly new, in the first year of playing, you can get this idea. This is the concept I'll cover today. Modular fingering. So, first finger, space away, second finger, space away, third finger, close, fourth finger. So you got this, I was talking and played a lot of tune, but space, space, close. And the next string, space, space, close. No open strings. Now you have to have your wrist down, your wrist kind of flat with the back of your arm, your palm not jammed against the fiddle because it's too hard to reach that fourth finger if not. But once you can do that and play without, there, I might as well tell the story of how I got out of that habit. When I was a 1 or 2 year student, I had the habit of jamming my palm in there and playing it because I didn't use the pinky yet, didn't need it. And the teacher said, okay, you're ready for the pinky, but here's what I got to do. Dr. Charles Salinger, I remember him. And he went to his desk, opened up the drawer, got out a thumbtack, a piece of tape, and taped the tack on the back of the neck with the point sticking down. Now, any teacher today would probably be thrown out of school and put in jail maybe or something, fired at least, right? But I learned, I didn't want to poke myself, and I've done that to tons of my students with parents' permission. So I would threaten them for a few weeks, saying, you're going to get the tack if you don't get that wrist off the neck, And the parents go, give him the tack. So anyways, get that wrist down, back of the hand, decently flat with the arm. When I was learning this, I also I rubber banded a ruler here. I had a foot-long ruler, put a rubber band here, the top of the ruler. I put a rubber band around the ruler and my wrist, and a rubber band down here, so that if I tried to bend the wrist, the ruler and the rubber band would snap it back. So it was an aid. Do whatever it takes. And home DIY stuff is fine. So, in order to do this modular fingering, 1, 2, high 3, 4, 1, 2, high 3, 4. In this case, because there's no open strings, could be anywhere. You could practice it. Slide everything down a half step. Space, space, close. Space, space, close. E flat. You didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to know anything. It's a modular fingering. Put it on A flat over on the G string. Low 1, low 2, 3, low 4. How about B flat on the A string? Let's go back to E. Back down. Slide it up a half step to F. Space, space, close. Space, space, close. Slide it up another half step to F sharp. Space, space, close. Space, space, close. Slide up another half step to G. You can check your G with open G. I was a little out of tune because I'm blabbing, sorry. Space, space. Notice if you're not used to third position, they get a little smaller, closer together. Trust your ear. Try every scale. Now that you know that one finger, you now know every major scale, at least one octave. A, B flat, D, C, C sharp, D, E flat, E, F, F sharp, G, etc. Now, what's the value of that? Who cares? Major scales are boring. They are. But if you know the formulas, this ties in perfectly. Hey, I'm in the flow, I guess. This ties in perfectly to a product I have coming out pretty soon. It's the Fiddle Jam Master Jammer Scale List. I have the cheater sheet, the formulas for all the scales and modes you'll ever need to jam. So, what time is it? How are we doing? Okay. And watch that. Watch this channel. Watch. Get on my email list, and I'll have maybe a way to get that for free. But if you know that the third note is flatted for a certain mode, you just change the fingering. If you know the seventh note is flatted, that's E Dorian. If you know the formula, you just take the major scale, which you now know all of them, and just change the fingering. At least you're in one octave and getting started with it. So that's probably about all the time I have today. Watch for the Master Jammer Scale List product coming. Watch for a survey I'm going to ask if you want it for free. I'll be releasing this stuff. I'm just catching up after the hurricane. And I hope you benefit something from these things. And so the main lesson today that I flowed into eventually with being unprepared was modular fingerings, at least one octave's worth. And next is how to alter that modular major scale fingering to be other modes and moods, which are all pretty easy when you know that scale. So, amen, happy jams, and we'll see you next time.